Thanks to Brothers War, we've been playing with a lot of artifacts lately, and not too much love has been given to enchantments, so today I'm bringing a list that technically still use a lot of artifacts, but we are mainly an enchantments deck. This is Alayla FAERIES. Alayla is a 4-mana 2/3 in Esper colors that has Flying, Death Touch, and Lifelink. It gives +1/+0 to other creatures we control with Flying, but most importantly, it makes a 1/1 fairy every time we cast an artifact or enchantment. Let's go to the deck. Section 1. My favorite enchantments. The Restoration of Eiganjo does everything, finds a plains, can ramp you, and makes token on its own. Anointed Procession to help double up the token production. Rabble Rousing is perfect with go wide strategies, and we can trigger Hideaway easily. Cathar's Crusade can go off dealing +1/+1 counters to the team. Divine Visitation to replace the 1/1 fairies with 4/4 angels. And Sigil of the Empty Throne to get even more value from our enchantments. Section 2. More enchantments. Here we have enchantments to protect Alayla, Curiosity effects to draw cards with our flyers, enchantments to pump the team, and enchantments to draw more cards, like Black Market freaking connections. I feel like this channel is blackmarketchannel.deck. Section 3. Removal. These are all enchantments that help us deal with annoying creatures or permanents. They work really well with Alayla's triggered ability. This way we develop our strategy while dealing with our opponent's threats. Section 4. Some artifacts. Nothing too fancy here. Esper Sentinel for value. Metallic Mimic on Fairy is a nice synergy, and Adaptive Automaton can also pump the fairies even more. Section 5. The rocks. Our usual mana rock package, Heraldic Banner in go wide strategies can be the best mana rock, giving +1/+0 to the team. Section 6. Instant speed interaction. We are very dependent on Alayla, so we need to protect her from dying. That's why we bring a set of counters, plus a few targeted removal spells, but not too many since we have these covered with our enchantments. Section 7. Board wipes. Only 3 to be used versus decks that can go faster than ours. We can clean up the board and then deploy our strategy. Finally, we run Rafine Scheming Seer. It works really well with the flyers Alayla produce. We churn through our deck with the connive triggers and build a massive board. So that's the deck, that's the deal. Now let's go to Fairyland. What's up everyone, welcome back one more time. You know the deal, we play Historic Brawl. And today we are playing with Alayla Artful Provocateur, Esper enchantments. This is mainly enchantments. Using no artifact in my hand right now, playing versus Valky. We do run some artifacts, but you can see we mull into more enchantments. So this is Enchantment Tribal in Esper, trying to have some fun with Anointed Procession, maybe Sigil of the Empty Throne to make some angels. We are running all the good stuff. It's a fine Sunday evening, drinking a little bit of wine, enjoying some magic for you, for my subscribers, and for my non-subscribers as well. If you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing to the best Historic Brawl channel in the freaking world. We are approaching 1,000 subscribers. I don't know, you don't wanna miss being part of the 1,000. I'm just saying, crazy things might happen. Alright, so we have to play this tapped, and I'm going to go ahead and just pass the turn, because I can do anything. We'll see. We're playing versus Valky, and I'm not very sure how this hand deals with Valky. Interesting. Sanctum. So a little bit of shrines for them. Oh, this is a perfect draw. One of my favorite cards of the last years. Restoration of Eiganjo does a little bit of many things that you want to be doing. Let's be mana efficient, play this Anointed Procession, because who knows, we could double up our token production. Rakdos should have a hard time dealing with our enchantments, that's for sure, because what could they have? Feed the Swarm, maybe Chaos Warp, and now we can maybe deploy. This is so greedy, like we are setting up pretty hard. And it's a little bit greedy, they are not pressuring us so much, we are still at 21. But now, check this out, anytime we play an enchantment, we make a angel, a 4/4 angel from the Sigil, but then Anointed Procession doubles up on that, which is too funny. Rally the ranks on fairies, of course, for Alayla tokens, but it's not going to pump the angels, but that's okay. Because Mana Transmutation maybe can deal with an annoying creature that they could play. And then we also have the Heraldic Banner for the extra pump effect. Such an overlooked card, Heraldic Banner. It is. You should always run it in Go Wide strategies. It's a perfect mana rock. It really does a lot. 43 mana artifact. And opponent comes in with a Guardian Idol. Alright, so we're going to untap with this board, which is kind of crazy. Let's go find... We could go... Well, we have a couple of alternatives. We could play the banner and then go for her restoration, pick up the lamp. I don't want to run a Layla into a removal spell because they are Rakdos and they surely have ways to remove a Layla, so we need to protect her. So this way we can still deploy our threats and put 2/5/4 angels from the restoration. Yes, this is what I wanted to do. So happy, so happy. Opponent drafting a spell from Kayla's spell book. Valky could come down here, but I don't know how good is Valky under this situation, because their 1/4/1s are not very good here. They need removal, they need board wipes, they need burn down the house, they need Meathook Massacre, Star of Extinction. That's, yeah, that's something. Wow, yes, come on. Cool, so now we draw an enchantment that we can use. And then we can put this mana rock into the battlefield, courtesy of the restoration of a Ganjo, and then we can go Alayla and get immediate value. Check this out, check this out. This is just from a 1-drop. Boom! Play a 1-drop, get a 6/4, a 6/4, a 3/2, and a 3/2. Yeah, just fair magic, as Richard Garfield intended. Here you have T-Bolt. T-Bolt is good, but I think that every enchantment we play, it's wow, 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 wow. Well, we don't need Divine Visitation so much, because we are already getting the angels, but this is so much flavor, so much flavor. Like, we have all the cards that I wanted to play with. Alayla, Sigil, Anointed Procession, Divine Visitation in hand. I want a target for Cosmetic Transmutation. Let's play this. Let's get some goodies. Yes! Yes! So good! Yes! Alright, so we don't have lethal, so we should take care of Valky. They are tapped down, right? They are. And then smack face with this. Opponent needs something really... Needs a card that does not exist. Needs a black or red version of Farewell, which I don't think it's a thing nowadays. Don't give ideas to wizards. Hey, we should print a Farewell for each color. Everyone has the right to reset the board at any time. They find a... Well, that's a spell that they can use to... Crackle with Power is a spell that they can use to blow up some things. I'm comfortably sitting at 18. I'm hoping that they cannot burn us out. That would be hilarious. Oh, I'm so happy already. This is exactly how I wanted this deck to work. Couple of fairies, couple of angels, restoration of a Ganjo. I forgot to say that. Another card that I wanted to play with! An opponent! It's easy enough. Let's go to another game. Here we are for another round with Alayla enchantments. Trying to make some fairies, trying to make some angels, playing versus braids, mono black, opponent goes first. I like the hand. The hand looks nice, because we have a ramp for turn 2, restoration on turn 3, maybe Alayla, and start producing fairies. We can pump them with adaptive automaton, and everything goes away. because a turn 1 braids is very difficult to overcome. Alright, so opponent had their perfect start. How I would like to have a Swords to Plowshares, but I removed Swords to Plowshares because you don't want to run Swords to Plowshares in every freaking deck you make with white. This is a enchantment deck, so being flavorful means we are going to remove things using enchantments mostly. I did put some black removal spells. Maybe I should have played Swords to Plowshares, but yeah, it's kind of boring to always be running the same exact things. Like, you know, I always play with Black Market Connections because I think that card is fun to play with, not against, but fun to play with. But sometimes I just don't want to run some things that are really staples in decks. Alright, opponent is protecting their commander, playing fodder for them to sacrifice, and we are taking a beating. I'm using the music from the game. That's a change that I'm introducing in 2023. Easier for addition and more pleasant for everyone, because we are all used to the music from the client. Alright, so let's use the Cosmina Transmutation here. Invalids braids, they could have a sacrifice effect in hand, like Village Rites. Wow, really? Their only answer in black to enchantments in hand? Well, we were never going to beat this start from them. They had the perfect hand. The perfect hand for a Brace deck. They will keep sacking their little creatures for value, 2-for-1ing us. We have touch, but I think that the way that Kaya's Ghost form works is that they still get back braids. Yikes. Yikes indeed. We are at 9 and we are soon dead, so let's use touch. Because if I'm not wrong, what's going to happen is they are going to get braids back. But at least then we can then try to deal with braids next turn. Yeah, they leave it. They have to leave it in the under the touch. Exactly, they didn't. They didn't make the mistake. Because if they choose to put it in the command zone, then we're happy with that. But Brandy knows what he's doing, so kudos to him. And we are soon to be dead. Tenacious Underdog and an Acquisitions Expert going to take one of our cards. So I'm not going to show them Motowara. That card can potentially bounce something, but what we need to draw is one of our board wipes and go from there. Alayla has lifelink, so we could come back in this game if we drew a Day of Judgment, Wrath of God. That's not what we were looking for. Can only put... Well, we could play... Well, now I have to play Otawara, because what I'm trying to do is we could play Alayla plus Waiting Announcement, essentially putting 2 more blockers in the board, and see if there is a way in which we can block our way of block our way out of this situation. But we are very dead. Bastion of the Remembrance. So when their creatures die, we get drained. Yeah, looks like we could be dead right now. And a Null Priest, I can never say that. Null Priest of Oblivion. Let's block like this. Eat their braids. That was a greedy attack from them. That was a greedy attack. Yes, I don't know if we're dead already. Okay. So we have the Architect. That was a greedy attack, because it allows us to remove braids and not die. Good. There's nothing I care about banishing lighting right now, so the best possibility to win this game is put the life linker on the board, hope that they don't remove it, put another 1/1, and then try to banishing light braids next turn. Pull a seat. Ah, my. So just when you think you've stabilized from a very tough spot, this happens. Disgusting. Check this out! Liliana into Qualitas, into Shieldred, and a Black Cat, and a Swamp. We were not going to die right here. Seriously, we were doing okay. But then this happens. Wow. Opponent was very greedy with their Brace attack. And they get out of the situation just because they had the perfect set of cards stacked after the Bola Citadel, because they could have whiffed. Imagine they go Bola Citadel, Swamp. That was a sketchy line. Yeah. But, well, this is Magic. Things can happen. This card, I love it, but it doesn't really help in this situation. It's the worst thing you can top deck. And we will give them the GG's and go to the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue to play with Alayla, Artful Provocateur, playing versus John Irenicus, the Exile. What does this guy do? At the beginning of your end step, draw card if your library has more cards than ours. Yeah, I don't really like that, Commander. We have a very good starter. Alcid can protect Alayla, Mindstone, Mirror Shield. Reaction Arena, we don't have the double black for the Arena. We can go Alcid turn 1. It's always a good play to make. Opponent with a tap land, we found the double black. Isolated Chapel, this can come down untapped. So we can go Isolated Chapel into Mindstone. Get our ramp going. And pass. Next turn, I'm not going to run Alayla because I want to run Alayla with the possibility to defend her. Okay, so 1 mana, that could be wash away for Alayla, so I'm not going to run Alayla by any means. Getting with Alcid, pay to life, shock ourselves to play a Phyrexian Arena. Alright, Spell Pierce. Sure. Yeah, they got us. There's a Swamp for them, and a Tome of the Infinite. That card could be a problem. That's a lot of card advantage for them. Ooh, Rabble Rousing. Well, we could play Rabble Rousing right now, but what I fancy doing is go for the biggest upside, which is Alayla. With protection, Alcid is protecting Alayla, and the next turn, we might go for the Rabble Rousing. John Irenicus is here. We can kill the John. No need to rush the Rabble Rousing. We could definitely try to do it on our turn, because now they mill us. Alright. We draw a tap land, which is going to be good the following turn to play Rabble Rousing, still holding up Alcid. So right now we can go Mirror Shield. I'm also going to grasp their commander. Still holding up Alcid activation. Have to be really patient here. And attack them for 3. We are also winning life in the process. So a nice life swing with Alayla. And then Rabble Rousing is better the more creatures we have online. Mid-hook. Ah, that's a perfect answer. We cannot protect her. I'm sorry, Alayla. We can't protect you this way. It's a little bit unfortunate that that's what they have. Okay. Now the question is, what do we do? Play Rabble Rousing, do nothing, or play Alayla unprotected? And there's nothing better to do than playing her. This is really sketchy. If they have another removal spell, we are in a tough spot. They are looking for it. They could get Lightning Bolt. Hope that they don't. Alright, they pass. What should we do? Should we go for the biggest upside, which is Rabble Rousing? We could play Mimic, but probably what we have to do is try to protect Alayla, because this, if this works, yes, it does. If this works, then I'm feeling much better about our chances. Go to attacks, attack for 2 lifelink. Then Mimic makes every fairy even better. Not the first one, but the following. So we can select here type fairy to fairy, type fairy, and I'm going to blow up the tome. That thing is really annoying. And if by any means, by any chance, they find the Paradox Engine, then they can go off like infinitely, something on those lines. A Mana Rock, a Tome of the Infinite, and a Paradox Engine, and they can draw, like, they can go infinite, probably. I might be right, but I might be wrong. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. There's the commander one more time, John Irenicus, the Exile, and ooh, Witness Protection. With a chance to also Rabble Rousing afterwards. This might be game here. Make another fairy. It's a 3/2. It's a better fairy. And then Rabble Rousing makes another fairy. Yes! Oh. We continue to play with Alayla Artful Provocateur. This is Enchantment's Fairies versus Soul of Windgrace. We go first. Hand looks... Hand has potential. A little bit expensive, but then again, Guardian Idol into Alayla could be a way to go. Debating on what land to play. I think I go Dark Catacomb. I don't want to fetch a Fable Passage, fetch a island right now. There's a Maester's Theater. So Soul of Windgrace going to recur the lands from their graveyard. Ooh, Curse of Silence. We could potentially put the Curse of Silence on Windgrace. But we can be mana efficient and play Guardian Idol. Overgrown Tomb into Signet. Okay, so now we have to be careful with Windgrace. Come on! Oh, seriously? Yikes! That's so bad. Okay, well, they might not take the Curse of Silence. They might take Rabble Rousing. I hope that they take the Rousing. Oh no! Oh my god. That's a shame. But I'm still convinced that was the correct play. Like, you go for the Mana Rock, and then in that turn we could have played the Curse of Silence, and we would be holding up mana to deal with the Lotus Cobra. That was so unfortunate. Seriously. These are the little things that decide Magic games. Like, what was the odds that they would go Arcane Signet into Thoughtseize? I'm so salty right now. Alright. There's a Ganjo. So unfortunately we have to deal with Lotus Cobra because it's so good under this situation. They play Windgrace, they bring back the fetch land, and they essentially have two more mana to float. It's really difficult from here. But Rabble Rousing is powerful enough to get us back in this game, and since we have nothing better to do, it's not like they will attack us for us to use the Ganjo. Then we can activate Guardian Idol and deal 2 more damage to them. I'm expecting here Windgrace. We might be good. We might be good here. There's Wingrace. The most annoying thing here is that they are gaining life because of the Maestro's Theater and the Druid class. So we cannot pressure them enough to put them at a low range to close the game. And top decking lands is not going to help our cause. So it has to be rabble rousing, hope for a great hideaway. Elspeth Conquers That could help, but we are ways away from hideaway. But rabble rousing grows exponentially. Well, not exponentially per se, but it almost feels like you can go from 3 to 10 in quite a few seconds. But then again, their hand was completely busted. Wow, seriously? Look at the deck go. Look at Soul of Wingrace go. Sometimes I will just stop just to appreciate what our opponent is doing. Because what they are doing is so cool. Like, they sequenced these things in such a way that it's kind of beautiful what they are doing. This might be the wine talking for me, but there's a beauty in all of this sometimes, and they are achieving that. I'm a little bit jealous of what they're doing. But that's Magic, baby. If you sometimes feel like this when you're playing Magic, then you're doing things right. Alright. Let's see if we can battle them. Alright. Well, we're going to use a Ganjo. Another way to go here would be block with Alayla with Death Touch. And protect her from dying with Alcid. But we still have that possibility for the future. An opponent has such a nice thing going for them. Soul of Wingrace comes down, brings back the fetch land. The fetch land gives them 2 tutus. They gain life from that, from the fetch land plus the Druid class. This is like a machine. It's like a computer working, processing. Super cool. Super cool. Okay, let's untap. See what we find. Negate. That's not going to help us. I think that at this point, I'm okay with conceding this game. No need to extend the situation here. And give the GG's to Ike for his amazing display of Soul of Wingrace. Move on with our lives. This will be our last round playing with Alayla, Artful Provocateur, and we are playing versus Mishra, Tamer of Makfawa. Oh, Mishra, 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 you were my first choice for a commander from the Brothers' War, so I have a serious respect for you. We are on the draw with Alayla, Artful Provocateur. Hand looks fine. I'm going to test Raffine under this situation. Have not played with Raffine with this deck so far. A turn 1 Legion's Landing is always really good. Swiftfoot Boots. Alright, not too scared of that start. Let's play a Mace Mind Tome, because they cannot play their commander. So Tails End, not looking very good. And I need to find the third land, so I'm going to set a stop on my upkeep to do this. Scry, find the land. Well, there it is. A beautiful, beautiful alternative art Watery Grave. We are winning just because we play beautiful lands. And go Raffine. So I need to attack with this to start growing it. And I obviously need to discard one of these. Well, it's going to grow regardless of what we discard. But what do we discard? Arena. I think that we are going to draw cards from Raffine. It's not going to be actual draw. It's more like looting, but I don't know. I fancy discarding that Phyrexian Arena. It's not a black market freaking connections, so I can discard it. Hell Fountain is a good top deck here. We might go that has protection, that has hexproof. So we could go attacks again and go to attacks and connive. This time I'm also looking to discard at least one spell to grow this into a 3/3. Glacial Fortress. What can we discard? One land and one Mire's Grasp. Put the pressure on them. Here we go. Now we can go Glacial Fortress into setup with Anointed Procession or Alayla. But I'm still looking forward to this because a much better way is Curse of Silence their commander and draw a card from Maze Mind Tome. Defense Greed is preventing us from using this Tail's End. So we go for this line, draw a card here. Then we can go Anointed Procession or maybe Alayla if we find a way to protect her. It's all about protecting our commander. Opponent attacks for 1, knowing that they cannot block effectively or that they have a Wrath in hand. I'm going to miss that Rafine. For sure. Not the very best draws here, right? Ouch, 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 ouch. What do we want to do? Let's play Alayla. We cannot draw from the Maze Mind Tome, but I might actually use the Scry. Phyrexian Arena. So we are all setting up. Both players trying to set up. Not very comfortable with the cards in hand. And I think I still want to Scry. Use the last bullet from the Maze Mind Tome. Draw another land. Wow, this is some serious running. Because these counter spells are dead in our hand, unfortunately. But well, we have an Anointed Procession online, a Alayla online, then maybe we can flip Legion's Landing. If they go here for their commander, we could draw from Curse of Silence. Alright, love to see that. Inquisition of Kozilek is really not a problem. Ugh, wow. Do you need so much mana? Ah, Meteor Golem. Okay, going for the Anointed Procession. That's not the end of the world. Oh, Grasp is not really what we want to see. We have so many enchantments. Yeah, probably a really bad running from our deck. But we have still 4 damage in the air, and we are at a comfortable total of life. Infernal Grasp could be actually really good versus Mishra. But we just want to top deck enchantments, right? Just enchantments! We have like, seriously, 1,000 of them. That's alright. The boots on the golem. Nothing else? Or, oh, come on. Well, these triggers Alayla, that's not... That's actually a very good top deck. Triggers Alayla, it's a threat on its own. I cannot complain too much. I think it also allows us to hold up Infernal Grasp on their turn, so that might actually be a really, really good top deck. Guardian Idol. Who knew? And the funny thing is that they might die to their own Phyrexian Arena, because we have so much life. I don't think they can kill us here. And alright, Storm's Wrath. Wow. Opponent had the perfect 2 cards to deal with our deck in Burn Down the House plus Storm's Wrath, and I still think we're going to beat them just because they are going to kill themselves with the arena, and it's so funny. Alright, Boots. A Scrap Trawler with Boots. Doom's Core. What? Might as well just run a Layla again. They have just 1 card in hand. They could unearth the Meteor Golem if they play Mishra, but I think that if they play Mishra, it's a little bit too late, and we'll be able to answer it with Infernal Grasp. So that's not very bad. Let's use the mana here from Jwari Disruption. That card is completely dead in our hand. And the clock ticks down. Their own Fire Action Arena, taking them down to 6. What a good game of Magic this is. There's a Mind Stone. And there's a Mishra. Sure, so we crack this to draw a card. And our running has been probably very, very subpar. And we are still doing fine. Come on. Really? So let's see. We can kill Mishra, pay the ward, sacrifice a permanent, attack them for 4. Essentially put them at 2. Essentially put them at 1. They're going to go to 1 thanks to their own Fire Action Arena. So, yeah. Our life total is so good that I don't think there's a way. They need something with lifelink. And we are going to attack them for 4 here. Gain 2 more. A little is so good. It's so good. So good. There you go. Go down to 1. Opponent, can you do something to gain life or you will die to yourself? Stop hitting yourself, opponent, please. Stop hitting yourself. Copying. Sculpting Steel copies what? Mind Stone to draw card. Trawler. And they scoop it up. No escape for the opponent. In a very good game of Magic. Congratulations to both players, including myself. So we reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed what we have just played. This was Alila, Enchantments, and Angels and Fairies. I hope you really enjoyed this. If you're not a subscriber, jumping on the wagon, come to the team. Let's go to 1,000 subscribers. Leave a comment, leave a like. We will see each other in a following video.